Hey guys, this is Jake, and I want to do a discussion on the general sword market and where I believe our emphasis on swords as freestyle cutters should lie. Now, the general sword market can be separated into two main categories. One is art swords, the second is practical swords. And as far as me personally, I do have an interest in art swords, but not too much. That's not my main focus. And generally, art swords fetch $2,000 or more if you want a really good art sword with, all the bells and whistles and extremely uh, high attention to detail and things like that. But as far as practical swords are concerned, I believe that there are three main price ranges that a freestyle cutter should consider. If you're an extremely serious freestyle cutter and maybe even a practitioner, then I would definitely suggest that you consider a sword in the range of $1,000 to $2,000. The reason why I say this is because obviously in this price range you would get an extremely high quality sword, but also you are able to get you have a possibility of getting a sword custom made and custom mounted for your particular needs. Um, and this is going to be like basically the best of the best. While while it may not be while it may not be of the caliber of and level of detail that a complete art sword may be able to achieve, a practical custom sword in the $1,000 to $2,000 range is definitely on its way there. What I mean by that is there's definitely um, a real attention to detail and attention to the aesthetic qualities of the sword, but it would be primarily focused on performance. So in that price range, you can find custom smiths. You can also find extreme high-end production swords, but I would definitely suggest a sword in that price range if you're considering a super high-end sword, because at the very least, the wooden components would be, depending on who you get it from, is going to be custom carved and fitted for your particular sword. And the mounting, such as full Samigal wrap and professional Tsukamaki, maybe even a professionally carved and fitted saya, things like that just really do help the performance of the sword. And obviously, the forging and sharpening and polishing of the blade is going to be at a higher standard, excuse me, as well. So that's the reason why I say if you're extremely serious, then you should consider a sword in that price range. But if you want a good production sword, I would definitely consider a sword in the $500 to about $1,000 price range. In that price range, generally you would only get production swords, but the level of attention to detail is definitely going to be higher. And while you may not get any sort of custom carved and fitted components, you will definitely get a higher attention to detail. Generally, the heat treat and the forging of the blades will be well done, um, and there's just a wide variety of different types of swords and different geometries for different applications. You can find swords for light target cutting, medium target cutting, or extreme heavy cutting. Just depends on you what kind of sword you prefer. But as a trick cutter, I would definitely suggest a sword that's lighter and meant for performance cutting. If you get a clunky 3-pound sword with extreme heavy niku, I'll definitely guarantee you that doing extreme trick cutting is not going to come easily, and it'll be pretty much impossible. So, that's my little bit of advice there. But the $500 to $1,000 range is definitely a range where there's going to be um, some more leeway, definitely. Um, so the next price range is going to be $500 and down. So in that price range is definitely production swords, but depending on who you get your sword from, you can find some really good deals. Really good deals. Obviously, my main focus and my opinion as a freestyle cutter and trick cutter is that you shouldn't get heavy swords at all, or swords that don't handle well. You should definitely get a sword that's been proven to handle well and to also cut well, because it doesn't matter if the sword is really pretty with a pretty polish and it looks like it's been mounted fairly well. What matters more is actually the blade itself, the blade geometry, and the blade's cutting performance. Um, while some people do like extremely durable blades with good amount of Niku, so that the blade will flex a lot, or not flex a lot. The blade will resist flex, and the heavy Niku have a really durable edge. But that's just not what I believe freestyle cutters should be looking for. Unless you're looking to cut bamboo every single day, I would suggest that you get a light sword, maybe 2.3 pounds and under, light to no Niku, an extremely sharp edge, and a light thin sword. And I'll guarantee you that the cutting performance on a sword like that will really fit your needs much more closely than a heavy Niku sword. Yeah, so that's my little breakdown of what I believe a freestyle cutter should be looking for a sword. And I personally own swords in across these different price ranges. I have swords ranging from like $50 all the way to about $2,000. I have swords all price ranges, everything in between. So it's just from my experience owning these swords, and also from looking at swords from working in the industry, because I do actually work for Sword and Armory. I have seen swords not only from the Munikoshi and Jubei brands, from doing quality inspection on them, but also from looking at other swords from different companies. And this is my conclusion after all the observations and experiences that I've gone through. That's why I break down these swords in these particular price ranges, and that's what I'm basically sharing with you guys. So I hope this video hasn't been too boring, but if you have any questions, comments, or if you even want to discuss your own philosophy on the sword market and what applies to freestyle cutters, then by all means make a video response or anything along those lines. And again, this is Jake from the Cutting Mechanics, and thank you for watching.